So something really interesting I want to talk about is when it comes to power, when it comes to looking and kind of feeling powerful, truth is always, the most powerful thing. And I want to talk about this in terms of putting your identity in God. What do I mean by this? So people, whether they know it or not, whether they're conscious of it or not, people always have a rock or multiple rocks in which they kind of delegate their confidence and identity on. For some people, it might be a sport they're good at, or some passion they're good at, or some like person, some relationship, their parents, their girlfriend or boyfriend. And you kind of delegate your identity into these things. And, this is a completely human thing to do and it's amazing. But, it's perfectly fine. And sometimes it's very beautiful to kind of give part of yourself to a person. But when it comes to power, I think that when you have a relationship with God and you establish kind of, you kind of start to understand what values God has, what he wants, kind of the way he thinks, and you can start to delegate your identity into God and how he views you, and your confidence comes from that. And this is powerful for two reasons. One is because no one else can take that away from you. That comes internally. Your confidence and your strength is inside of you, so no one can take it from you. It's like someone, if someone kind of dissed the way I played a sport, for example, that could make me sad and like make me lose my confidence maybe for a few days, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, the point is, like, if you put your confidence in God, it's not out there in the world, able to be attacked. And there's a strategy in, I think, the 48 Laws of Power, where it's like, don't build a fortress because that only means that people can come and destroy it. And so a lot of people in this world, I think 99.99% of people, or like even more, they have these multiple fortresses in which they place their identity. But, it's not optimal because people can destroy them. People can attack them directly because it's an established thing. You can direct an attack towards that. But you can't do that with God because, God is internal. God is inside of you. It's not something that can be pinpointed in the world. And so when you put your confidence in God, that makes you so powerful because no one else can take that away from you. But the second reason why making God your identity, or like the majority of your confidence, is because it means that you can detach yourself from the world. Like, you don't need anything from the world. You don't need people. You don't need like that sport every Saturday. You don't need, you're not bound to anything. And if you're not bound to anything, then it means nothing or no one can use that to manipulate you or to attack you. And also, in terms of socially, when you see someone who like doesn't need anything, when you see someone who doesn't kind of is not looking for attention, who is kind of, you see that they have this like strange inner confidence, and you see that they kind of don't really care, then it's so powerful. Like, it makes you kind of gravitate towards them because I think subconsciously humans are like, well, what does that person have that like I'm missing out on, or like, because it's like he's not desperate for anything in the world. Like, he's not like doing anything out of lack, and he's perfectly happy with who he is. And a lot of people have that kind of vibe because maybe people have their established confidences and they're very confident in that, and they have their established friend groups and they're very confident in their friend group, and so therefore they can kind of walk about life acting as if they don't lack anything, with that like kind of inner confidence. But the reality is if something happened in any of their things in the world, which could, and it probably will, because that's just how the world works, their confidence is instantly shattered. And so that's why building your, that's why the Bible talks about building your house upon like Jesus, the rock. I think that's what it says, because it means that nothing in this world will be able to kind of damage your foundation if your foundation is not in the world, and Jesus is not in or kind of from the world. Like the point is if your confidence is not in the world, how can the world take that away from you? And therefore that makes you so powerful, so powerful in the world, and it gives you freedom because you're not bound to anything in the world. And that's the way of kings. In Psalms it talks about like kings, Proverbs talks about kings. That's the way of kings.